Hey guys, it's Josh here with the Fish USA Pro Shop, and we are gearing up for steelhead season here. And if you know me or you've ever talked to me, you know that I love centerpin fishing and float fishing for steelhead. So today we are going to cover a topic that I talk about a lot in the Pro Shop on what I feel are the top 5 centerpins for the Great Lakes. So starting off, number 5. I have an Akuma Sheffield right here. This reel comes in at 4.5 inch diameter. This reel will always hold a soft spot in my heart because many moons ago, I started with this reel and I beat up a lot of fish on this reel. The only downside to this reel to me is that the clicker on this reel isn't really beefy. Your line can still kind of move on it if you get hung up walking through the woods. And also, personal preference, I have a bigger hand being 6'3", so a 4.5 inch reel, it's a little small in my hands. But some guys might like the 4.5 inch reel. Number 4, I have a Kingpin kinetic heel here. This is a great, little bit higher than price point reel. It's made over in England. These are CNC machined. They come with a very beefy clicker on them. They are 5.5 inch diameter. And one of the main points about this reel that I talk to a lot of people is that if you start with, like, let's say a really entry-level internet that we found off Amazon or eBay centerpin, usually if you fall in love with it, in a couple years, you're gonna wanna upgrade because you're growing in the sport. With this reel, if you start with this reel, you can grow into it, but you're not immediately gonna wanna grow out of it in a year or two. This is still a solid reel that I know a lot of good centerpin float fishermen still have one of these reels. They use it for king skein fishing and stuff like that. So definitely solid reel and everything at its price point. Number 3, I have the Islander Steelheader. This reel has been around for a long time. Some of you guys that have been centerpinning for a long time, this might have been your first reel. These are CNC machined. They're made in Canada. Super deep arbor on this reel. It's definitely gonna take some backing and some monofilament to fill this reel up. It's definitely got some weight to it, so it helps balance out those longer reels. The only downside to this reel, and it's totally a personal opinion, is this reel's only 4.5 inches. So like I was saying with my Sheffield reel, it's just me being a bigger guy, it's just a little bit small for my liking, but still a great reel. Startup on it is amazing. Number 2, I have a Kingpin R2. So this reel, very classic inspired centerpin. It's got the 6-hole big porting right here, 5 inch diameter, super stiff clicker on it. Definitely has enough room on the arbor that you can load up a couple 100 yards of 12 or 14 pound mono. So if you like a little bit heavier main line, it's not like we're gonna get a super shallow spool on this. It does have porting on the spool too to save weight on it. Solid back plate on it, so if you lay it down on the sand or something when you're landing when you're unhooking a fish, you're not going to get sand up into it or anything like that. It also comes with ABAC 7 marine grade bearings, so the startup on this thing is just incredible. And then last but not least, the number 1 centerpin reel. This is top of the line from Kingpin. This is their Aero Zeppelin. So this reel, it's just a work of art. It has 3D machining on it, as you can see right there. It has porting on the spool, a lot like the R2, has porting on the side spool. It has porting on the back plate right there. And when this thing spins, it's just a very crazy optical illusion on it. This also has marine grade ABAC 7 German bearings on it. So again, the startup on this thing is just immaculate. So it's kind of almost like a work of art, this reel, and it's just a pleasure to fish this reel if you ever get a chance to fish one with how smooth it lets out line and everything. So those are my top 5 center pins that I really like for the Great Lakes fishing. I hope this helps you pick out and choose a center pin reel down the line, and we'll see you out on the water.